A viral squirrel with millions of followers is dead, and now New York State is facing a $10 million reckoning. Mark Longo thought he was running an animal sanctuary, but state officials had other plans. They sent 12 armed officers to his home, they treated it like a drug bust, and within hours, Peanut the squirrel and Fred the raccoon were executed for rabies testing. And wait until you hear what they planned before they even knocked on his door. This isn't just about two beloved pets. This is about government power run completely wild. And now the consequences are coming due. The lawsuit filed this month reveals shocking details about what they really happened in the October morning, and why this case could change everything about how a republic handles wildlife enforcement forever. Oh, those guys are such scumbags for what they did to that squirrel and the raccoon. So my name's Tom. I'm with the Daily Beltway. I'm also publisher of the Illinois Review and a White House correspondent for the Next News Network. And we are a growing channel, so every like, comment, and subscription helps us bring you the stories the mainstream media won't cover. So hit that subscribe button, and let's go ahead and dive in. So Mark Longo rescued Peanut as an orphan baby squirrel back in 2017 after the little guy's mother was killed by a car. What started as a simple wildlife rescue turned into something extraordinary. Peanut became an internet sensation, millions of followers watching him perform tricks. He was wearing cute tiny little hats, and he brought joy to people around the world. Along with Fred the raccoon, they helped fund Peanut's Freedom Farm, a nonprofit animal sanctuary dedicated to wildlife rehabilitation. Then the government came a-knocking, guys, and here's the aftermath. Check it out.
Feeding all of our 71 rescue horses at our nonprofit animal rescue. Midway through that, a line of DEC officers, about 6 to 8 of them, showed up and gave me a warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon.
The search warrant said Longo was in unlawful possession of wildlife. He says agents ransacked his property for 5 hours until they found Peanut and Fred the raccoon.
We complied. We weren't allowed to move. We were police escorted into the bathroom. Mind you, this is a search warrant for a squirrel and a raccoon. And I feel like this was...
They sent a full SWAT team for a squirrel and a raccoon. They sent a full SWAT team for a squirrel and a raccoon in New York, but they refused to prosecute. You know what I'm going to say.
It's a little bit of an overkill.
Longo says he was working on the necessary paperwork to be able to legally own Peanut as an educational animal.
You're not only hurting my family by taking Peanut away from me, but you're also hurting the organization that we started on the back of a rescue squirrel. We named this organization Peanut's Freedom Farm because he has been such a big portion of my life and so many people around the world. You know, we promoted the fact that squirrels are not good pets. They don't deserve to be inside, but there are rare occasions where you stumble on an animal that unfortunately can't survive in their normal habitat. That's the only reason why Peanut was ever a rescue animal.
Longo says he rescued Peanut 7 years ago in New York City after the squirrel's mom was hit by a car. He says he rehabbed Peanut and tried to release him into his backyard. But Longo says Peanut never developed the instincts to survive outside. After Peanut was attacked by an animal and lost half his tail, Longo let Peanut live in his home.
And then he became best friends with my cat. So that's when we turned to social media. We put some funny and silly videos out there, and the internet loved him. He became the world's most famous squirrel.
Peanut racked up a combined 3...
We all loved Peanut because he was adorable. He didn't need to be killed.
3 million followers on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Longo says he believes Peanut's fame led to someone filing a complaint.
I'm no expert in anything involving politics of the state, but they sent 6 to 8 officers to my house from Albany to confiscate a squirrel and a raccoon, and it was signed off on a search warrant.
That means a judge had to read the piece of paper, be like, oh, okay, they want to execute a warrant on this guy's property because he has a squirrel and a raccoon. Let's go ahead and spend a couple $100,000 of taxpayer money, kick in his front door, and then go ruin.
Just that in its
scumbags.
Sense to say that is one of the most shocking things I could say, in my opinion, is we just used resources and spent an entire day sitting 2 people who run a nonprofit animal rescue and treat them like criminals.
Yeah, they look like total criminals. So this was happening during the presidential election, and Trump tweeted about it, and he started talking about it. So everybody equated Peanut the squirrel and the owner to being a Trump supporter. I don't think that was ever true. But the fact that the President of the United States was talking on a presidential campaign about the unlawful search and seizure regarding a pet squirrel and the rights that people should have is pretty awesome that he did do that. And you guys know I love Trump. I'm a very strong conservative. And the fact that a presidential campaign actually discussed the state doing that was pretty cool. So the state claimed Longo lacked proper permits to house wildlife animals, even though he's an animal rescue. He also stated he was actively working toward compliance and he applied for the necessary licenses. On October 30th, 2024, at least 12 heavily armed officers showed up at his door with a search warrant. Witness described it like watching a SWAT team raid a drug house, except the targets were a beloved raccoon and squirrel. The officers detained Longo and his partner Daniela Bittner for hours while they seized the animals. During the chaos, Peanut allegedly bit one of the investigators. Yeah, because you're grabbing a freaking squirrel. What do you think's going to happen? You guys are walking in, your owners are scared. He can see the owners going, what the hell is happening? And somebody grabs him. Yeah, he's going to bite the shit out of him. And this is where things get truly outrageous. Oh, I hate this story. But instead of following standard protocol and quarantining the animals for observation, they decided to euthanize both pets immediately for rabies testing. So tell me what you think. Do you think the government officials having the power to kill family pets based on anonymous complaints? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and let me know if you guys ever dealt with government overreach in your own life. He's lucky the DEA didn't show up because the DEA would have shot all of his animals on his property. They would have killed his dogs. They would have killed the squirrel. They would have just shot everything instantly. So this is kind of where it all changes, though. Court documents filed in August reveal something absolutely shocking. Officials had already decided to kill these animals before they even arrived at the house. I think there were DEA that were pretending to be, DEA or ATF agents that were pretending to be New York people. And this wasn't an emergency response to a bite. This was a premeditated execution disguised as public health protocol. The rabies test, it came back negative, of course. But Peanut and Fred were already dead. So the reason why we're talking about this story is the owners of Peanut the squirrel have filed a $10 million lawsuit against the state of New York alleging wrongful killing of Peanut and his companion, a raccoon named Fred. The lawsuit filed in New York court seeks $10 million in damages, alleging violations of the First and Fourth Amendment rights, unlawful search and seizure, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. Longo's attorney calls it a senseless act of violence and government abuse of power. New York officials defend their actions. Of course they would. They're scumbags. Claiming wild animals pose public health risks and the couple lack proper licensing. Dogs are wild animals. They just happen to be inside. Cats are better outside than they are inside. But hey, let's not, again, back to the DEA and ATF. They kill them anyways, so why not? But critics are asking why it took 12 officers to handle a pet squirrel. Shocking. And why killing was chosen over quarantining when standard procedures existed. This case attracted support from celebrities, politicians, and animal lovers worldwide. GoFundMe campaigns raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for legal fees, and the story even became a talking point in the 2024 presidential election as an example of bureaucratic tyranny. So if you guys got value from this news update, tap subscribe. My opinion is next. And if you believe in fighting government overreach and protecting our constitutional rights, show your support. Like this video, share it with fellow patriots who want to hear the story. This gets me so heated because my friend Mike, he rescues animals and he had pet deers and he had little raccoons and rabbits. He's always got something. And I've had squirrels and rabbits all over my arms and stuff. Maybe if I get an opportunity, I'll edit one in before I post, but it's so frustrating. All right. This case represents everything that's wrong with government power in our republic today. You have a man who rescued orphaned animals. He built a successful sanctuary and brought joy to millions of people worldwide. His crime? Allegedly lacking the right paperwork from bureaucrats who probably never saved a single animal in their lives or their constituents' life. 12 armed officers for a pet squirrel. And think about that for a minute. While criminals walk free in New York cities, they're deploying tactical teams to kill internet-famous pets. And they planned the execution before they even knocked on the door, which tells you everything you need to know about their real intentions. This isn't about public health. It's about control. It's about a government that's forgotten it serves the people, not the other way around. And when faceless bureaucrats can storm your home, kill your family pets, and hide behind regulations, ATF. We've lost something fundamental about what makes America great. But here's what gives me hope. Mark Longo is fighting back. He's not rolling over and accepting this injustice. He's demanding accountability through our court system. And $10 million might sound like a lot. To me, I don't think it's a lot. I think it should be $100 million. But you cannot put a price tag on constitutional rights and the love of a family for their pets. And sometimes the only language government understands is financial consequences. So if you guys like, comment, subscribe, this stuff is just insane. We need to send a clear message to the government that this isn't right. God bless.